Do we have a new mayor? His name is Paddington.
That's me.
That's what it says up there.
Yeah.
Paddington.
I change it to Paddington, like the
There you
bear.
go. Yeah.
There you go. I think I'm in, Katie. You good? Okay, we'll give Judy a minute or so here. Good to see everybody.
Somebody's screeching. Oh, yeah. Who was that? You? And are you playing with that? Oh, you're right in the middle of everything. And I thought you were making that noise.
Yeah, knock it off, Andrea.
Yeah.
Hey, knock it off.
This
She's such a
beautiful,
troublemaker, I tell you.
Mhm.
rainy December 30th.
You're right in the middle of everything.
Rainy December.
No,
Everybody's froze.
no, I'm here. I hear you.
My froze.
No, you're
No,
all
we
right,
can hear
Tony.
you.
You're okay, Tony.
All right.
Katie's frozen.
It's nice
Kelly.
tonight, though. Got my heater going. I'm good.
Yeah, I like some of the names up here. I got iPad Kelly.
Two Tonys.
Yep.
Oh.
Still no Judy.
There's Susan. Whoop.
We're live as 5 after 6. Can we begin?
Yeah, we sure can.
Hey,
We
David.
don't have Judy. I'm gonna call the order. This special called meeting, the City of New Franklin Council at 6:05, December 30th, 2020. Can we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones, are you there yet? Okay, Mr.
Don't see her.
Fetterman,
Here.
Mr. Hawk,
Here.
Miss Norris. Here. Mr. Stock.
Here. Thank you. Like to make a motion to approve, well,
I
What do
don't
we
have the
got?
minutes on there.
yeah. So this is a special called meeting. We're gonna run this a little different, I guess. We don't have the meeting minutes from the last meeting.
That will be at the next meeting.
Yes.
Do we do
Well, I'm
committee meetings?
I'm gonna bypass the approval of the financials.
I don't
And,
have that
uh,
on there.
What's that?
Do we
I don't
do,
have that on there.
Yes. I'm
Can we
just,
go
I'm
through-
actually looking at it because I didn't print anything out, so I'm looking at an old agenda that I got some stuff going on.
Oh,
Do
okay.
have to do our public comment.
David,
Yes.
do we have to do committees?
I was just gonna go into this meeting. You're gonna be into yours, and
Okay.
I'm just trying to go through this is what we can do.
Okay, okay.
Everything pretty much is just taking care of some year-end business. So we're gonna run it that way. I see one person's watching, and I see no comments. So we'll
Mrs. Jones,
move-
are you present?
I'm sorry?
Mrs. Jones, are you present?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So Judy, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bypass committee meetings, go right into our agendas this evening on a special called meeting. We have 7 first readings, 6 of them which are resolutions. We have 1 ordinance. We're gonna move into the Finance Committee with Jim. And Jim, go ahead and take us away.
This is a regular meeting. Wouldn't we have the?
Oh, I'm
council clerk
sorry.
read?
I'm sorry. My bad. So I guess we could do, I guess we'll just do discussion when we bring up, we're gonna go through Kelly Resolution 20-R-78.
A resolution authorizing the return of funds advanced by the general fund to the JAG grant fund and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This resolution is assigned to the Finance Committee. Ms. Cook, would you like to explain this real quick, please?
Sure. I can do a general explanation, and this is just, this handles anytime there's an advance. We cannot end the month balance or the year-end balance in a negative in any fund. So to be able to do that, as you've experienced, we advance funds from the general fund to cover that. And once those, especially that happens in grant funds, because you have to expend it before you can ask to be reimbursed. So what happens is we advance it, and also we are required to pay that back, that advancement back, or return the advance in this case, once that money has been put into that fund, and it has to go back to the general fund or the original source where that advancement was made. In this case, it was to the JAG fund, and it was from the general fund, so it's going to be returned to that fund.
Okay, so it's coming from the JAG grant fund and going to the general fund for the amount of $3,082.76. Folks have questions on this?
No.
We'd like to move to waive the 3 readings on Resolution 20-R-78.
Second,
Have a first and second, roll call, please.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
No.
Miss Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts.
Yes. We move to adopt Resolution 20-R-78.
Second,
First and second, any discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Miss Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts.
Yes.
All right, that passes 7-0. We'll move to Resolution 20-R-79, Kelly.
A resolution requesting that the Summit County Fiscal Officer make an advanced payment of tax funds for tax year 2020 payable in 2021 to the city of New Franklin, and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This resolution is assigned to the Finance Committee. This is something that we do every year at this time. It helps get the monies from Summit County to us in a little quicker fashion, and something that Summit County requests that us and other entities do. Questions?
Nope.
We'll move to waive the 3 readings on 20-R-79.
Second,
Yeah, first, second, roll call, please.
Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
yes.
Miss Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit.
Yes.
We move to adopt Resolution 20-R-79.
Second,
We have first and second, any further discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
yes.
Miss Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit.
Yes.
All right, that passes 7-0. Move to Resolution 20-R-80, Kelly.
A resolution authorizing an advance from the general fund to the 2907 Cops School Violence Prevention Fund and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This resolution is assigned to the Finance Committee, as we've done throughout the year. This is a grant that we applied for and received in conjunction with Manchester Schools. And since we were the lead on it, we have to handle the money. This advance that we've done before will be all paid back. Ms. Cook, do you have anything to add?
No, that's correct. Those advances, once we take the final drawdown, will be paid back to the general fund.
Questions?
No.
Comments? We'll move to
None.
waive the 3 readings on 20R80.
Second,
We have a first, second, roll call, please.
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
yes,
Ms. Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones.
yes,
We move to adopt resolution 20R80.
Second,
All right, we have a first and second. Any discussion or further questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
yes,
Ms. Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones,
yes,
All
thank
right,
you.
that passes 7-0. Thank you. We'll move to resolution 20-R-81, Kelly.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of funds from the general fund to the police district and dispatch funds and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This resolution is assigned to the Finance Committee. This is our standard transfer of funds, first from the general fund to the police district fund in the amount of $150,000 effective November 30th, and from the general fund to the dispatch fund in the amount of $95,000 effective November 30th. Questions, comments? We move to waive the 3 readings on 2081.
Second,
We have first and second, roll call, please.
Mr. Hawk,
yes,
Ms. Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman.
yes,
We move to adopt resolution 20R81.
Second,
First and second, any discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawk,
yes,
Ms. Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman.
yes,
All right, that passes 7-0. Move to resolution number 20-R-82, Kelly.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of funds from the general fund to the police district fund and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
Okay, second verse, same as the first. This is for the police district fund from the general fund, the amount of $200,000 effective December 30th, 2020. Questions, comments? We move to waive the 3 readings on 20R82.
Second,
Yeah, first and second, roll call, please.
Ms. Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk.
yes,
We move to adopt resolution 20R82.
Second,
You have first and second, discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Ms. Norris,
yes,
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk.
yes,
All right, that passes 7-0. Move to resolution 20-R-83, Kelly.
A resolution extending certain amendments to the City of New Franklin Health Benefit Plan and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This resolution is assigned to the Finance Committee is, as is stated, to extend certain benefits. The federal government is not, so we are. And some of those would benefits associated with testing, the treatment of those that contract the virus, extended health insurance coverage for employees that may take extended leave, either due to layoff or in accordance with the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything to add? Mr. Mayor, on mute. Mr. Mayor, hit the mute button.
Yeah, the
Mr.
government
Mayor,
didn't do it,
continue.
so it's up to council to do it. So we appreciate your support.
Again, this is extending what we've have done in the past, and you can refer back to Resolution 20R24 for more information. Questions, comments?
What are we extending it to?
It'll be extended until the state of emergency enacted by Mayor Adamson has expired. We'll ask to waive the 3 readings on 20R83.
Second,
First and second, roll call, please.
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman,
Yes.
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Ms. Norris,
Yes.
We move to adopt Resolution 20R83.
Second,
First and second, discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman,
Yes.
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Ms. Norris.
Yes.
All right, that passes 7-0. Thank you. We'll move to our last piece of legislation, which is 20-0-06, Kelly.
An ordinance extending the addendum to the family and medical leave policy as included in the City of New Franklin Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual in response to the Families First Coronavirus Response Act and declaring that this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon passage.
And just like in the prior piece of legislation, we're extending benefits on our own that aren't being extended by the federal government. Anything to add, Mayor?
No, I apologize for these coming late, but we didn't know that the government wasn't going to extend these themselves until the act came out. And under the prior act, they expired December 31st. So that's why we had to add them on for today. And this one extends that 80 hours, the additional 80 hours for employees who either come down with COVID or have to quarantine because of COVID. That's a one-time 80-hour shot. It doesn't add an additional 80, but for those who haven't used it, it carries it forward until the state of emergency is withdrawn.
And again, that's a good call, Mayor. It's something that we're extending, and had you not caught this, then they would have expired pursuant to the act at the end of this month. So I'm glad we have the meeting. I'm glad that we can extend these benefits. I'm going to move that we waive the 3 readings so that we can pass tonight. Is there a second?
Second.
We got a second, first and second, roll call, please.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman,
Yes.
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Ms. Norris,
Yes.
Mr. Stock.
Yes.
And now I'd move that we'd adopt 20-0-06.
Second,
We got first and second, any further discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
yes.
Mrs. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman,
Yes.
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Ms. Norris,
Yes.
Mr. Stock.
Yes. All right, thank you. That passes 7-0. That takes care of our legislation. Paul, any mayor's report this evening?
No, I don't. It's hard to be serious, but I'm looking at Terry, which is beautiful. But maybe if we could, I'll have a report next week, but maybe we could take just a brief moment of silence in honor of Therese Leslie, her passing, wife of Fire Chief Steve Leslie, former Franklin Township firefighter, advanced EMT, and a horrible loss for the community and a horrible loss for the city of New Franklin. Flowers were sent to the funeral service on behalf of the city, including city council. I wanted you to know that as well. So if we could
Thank
just,
you.
if we could just take a brief moment of silence. May she rest in peace, and may Steve and the family be comforted. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Sue, finance?
Not much to report here. It's the end of the year, so we're running around like crazy trying to get a lot of stuff done, just per usual.
All right, thank you. Old business? New business?
I don't know if this falls under new business or old business, but I'm going to share it anyway. I find having this end of year meeting unnecessary. I checked pretty much every city in Summit County, and I couldn't find another city that does this. They seem to be able to have all their accounting processes in order and not require such a meeting. I don't know if our accounting practices are so far behind the times that we're unable to do that, but it seems like it's an unnecessary thing for us to go through. I just wanted to get that out there.
Thanks, Jim. I agree. Years ago, we didn't have to do this. Lately, for the last several years, we've been doing it a lot. I'm not real sure why, but here we are. It's a weird year this year, I guess, but I agree with you. Any other new business?
Well, if I could add, although there have been times we haven't done it, we did it pretty much every year when we were a township as well. And the reason that we do this and the reason that the auditors asked us to do part of this was because of the transfers that we make to the police fund and the dispatch fund, because we need to get that done before and get the resolution passed before the end of the year, so to make sure that we get all that money to them. And we haven't thrown all that money that we've appropriated into the police or dispatch fund at the beginning of the year, because obviously that would totally drain the general fund. So, and also there was also the reason that council had put forward quite some time ago is that rather than putting more money into the police and dispatch fund than was necessary, we prefer to do it, monthly or at least every few months when needed, so that if that money was not necessary, that you wouldn't want that to be done. So this came about, like I said, because of those transfers and because that is the auditor requested okay before the end of the year.
All right, thank you, Susan. Any other new business?
Just one, David.
Yes.
Happy New Year, everyone. God
Yep,
bless
Happy
you all.
New Year.
Likewise.
All right. All right, we'll go to, I don't see any questions or anything. Do you, Katie? No, I'm not even sure too many people knew this was going on tonight. I only seen one person watching so far. So, all right, Paul, no executive session?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ayes
Happy New
have it.
Year.
Yep,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Our next meeting's what, next Wednesday, right? Which is the
January 6th.
January
sixth,
6th.
David, yes,
And that'll be the organizational meeting. So
that
Yep.
is correct.
I get to start as a chair on
Yeah.
that one. I won't have a gavel, but I'll be ready to go. As long as somebody gives me an agenda, I'll be ready to go.
I will,
Right.
I have that ready.
All right,
I will
great.
get
All
that
right.
out to you.
Happy New
My
Year,
Friday's, my
everybody.
birthday's Friday.
Bye,
All right.
Happy birthday,
everybody.
Terry.
Thanks.
Checks
Bye.
in, hey, Terry, the check's in the mail.
Okay.
All right, we'll see
All right.
y'all.